Today I will explain about key events in Java AWT using VS Code environment. So first we'll see what is key event. A key event is generated when keyboard input occurs. So generally we work with the keyboard where you press the key, where you release the key, and where you type some characters. Now these are the three possible actions or the events where we get the key event. So key event is occurred when the keyboard is getting some input, like you press, like key press, key release, and key type. Now these three possibilities are creating a key event. So here you can see the key event is a class available in AWT package. So there are three types of key events which are identified by these integer constants. So we do have three constants and you can see all are represented with the capital letters. Now key underscore pressed, key underscore released, and key underscore typed. So these are the three possible constants which is going to represent the key events. Now the first two events are generated when any key is pressed or released. So this is key pressed and released. The first two are generated when the key is pressed, you get key pressed event. Whenever you release the key, then key release will be occurring. The last event occurs only when a character is generated. So when you just start typing some character, then the key typed event is generated. Now there are many other integer constant apart from these three what we have seen just now that are defined by key event class. For example, vk underscore 0 through vk underscore 9. So on the keyboard you have 0 to 9 digits, and capital A to capital Z we do have the characters. So vk stands for the virtual key code. So every number 0 to 9 as well as capital A to capital Z, there is a key code, virtual key code assigned, which define the ASCII equivalents for the numbers as well as the letters. Now these are few virtual keys apart from the 0 to 9 and A to Z. So for alt key we have vk underscore alt. Now these are all the constants. Then for down arrow we have vk underscore down. The left arrow we have vk underscore left. For right arrow we have vk underscore right. Then we have a cancel button for vk underscore cancel. Then we have enter key vk underscore enter. Page down key we have vk underscore page underscore down. For shift key vk underscore shift. For control key vk underscore control. For escape key vk underscore escape. For page up we have vk underscore page up, and for up we have vk underscore up. Now these are all the predefined constants. So all the keys can be recognized internally through the inside the program by using this constants, which is nothing but virtual key. Now the vk constants specify virtual key codes and are independent of any modifier such as control shift or also every key is been individual to itself, and each virtual key is having its own meaning. Now what are the constructors? So the key event constructor is holding some parameters. Now this is a key event constructor. The first one is the component src. Now what is this src parameter representing is nothing but a component. Now src is the reference to the component that generated the event. So which component is generating the key event that you need to specify. Then int type is nothing but id of the event, which is going to identify the type of the event. So there is some identifier, so that you need to specify the integer. Then when that particular event has occurred, the time you need to specify. The system time at which the key was pressed is passed in when. So either it could be pressed or released or typed. So three cases we can make a note of the time. Then the modifiers argument indicates which modifiers were pressed when this key event occurred. So modifiers like we have already seen, like control, alt, then meta key. So if you're working with the keyboard along with these particular modifiers, then you need to specify. Now the virtual key code, already we have seen in the previous slide what is vk. Virtual key code such as vk underscore up, vk underscore a, and so forth. So wherever you're prefixing that vk, those are called as virtual keys, and so forth is passed in the code. So here the virtual key code constant you need to specify here. The character equivalent, if one exists, is passed in ch. Suppose you don't You have a virtual key and you have a character like A to Z. You want to specify the character, you can specify here. If no valid character exists, so here is nothing there, nothing is there to exist, then you can write character undefined, char underscore undefined. Now coming to the methods, we have get keychar method and get keycode method. So get keychar returns the character that was entered. So when you type, you are entering some characters. No, I want to retrieve that character, whatever entered. So you can extract get keychar method, which is going to return a single character. Similarly, if you want to extract the virtual key code, then you can apply get key code method. So it returns the key code. So here we have get key code, which is returning an integer, because in the constructor, if you can see where we have specified the code, which is an integer, and the character cs, the last parameter is the character. So whatever you're specifying there, that you can retrieve the last parameter is character, right? That you can get by using get keychar method. Before that, you have a key code, that is the code, int code we have written in the constructor. So if you whatever you specify there, that you can extract. Now if no valid character is available, suppose you are not writing anything in the constructor for the character last parameter, then still you are applying get keychar method. It returns character undefined. When a key typed event occurs, get key code returns vk undefined, because suppose your character is available, then you are specified the character, but still you are trying to apply get key code, then returns vk underscore undefined, because you are specifying the character clearly. You're not specifying any key code. So when you specify the character and still you are applying get key code method, then it returns vk underscore undefined. If you don't specify character, then you're specifying the key code, then you can get the answer here. Now for every event, we do have a listener. So here we are talking about key event. We have a key listener. So already I've explained clearly about the event handling. What is the source? What is a listener? What is the event classes? So that is already, I put a video. You can just go through that. Event handling in Java, so that you can see what sort of communication goes on between the source and listener concept. So yes, since we are talking about key event, we have a listener called key listener, and all listeners are interfaces. All events what I was talking about are classes. So here I'm making it as key listener interface. If you see the previous slide heading, I was writing key event class. Now coming to the listener, as you know, the listeners are interfaces as well as interface concept abstract methods. So this interface defines three abstract methods. One is key pressed, one is key released, and these methods are invoked when a key is pressed. This method is invoked. Key is released. The key release method is invoked respectively. Now the key typed method is invoked when a character has been entered. So when you start typing in a text box or in text area, then the key typed event is generated. Now coming to the syntax of this, you can see void key pressed, where it is handling key event and its reference variable we need to write. Similarly for key released and key type. So these are three abstract methods which are available under this interface. So whenever you write a program by implementing this key listener, compulsorily you need to write the implementation for all these three methods. Let's say you want to write only one method, but still other two methods also need to be written, at least with open flower brace and close flower brace, where we call it as null implementation. I'll show you the demonstration of key event in Java AWT using a Visual Studio Code environment. So now we will open the Visual Studio Code. So it's already opened in my system. So you need to have this software prior in your system called Visual Studio Code. Now, whenever you are keeping any files or developing any files or creating any files, you need to store basically in one folder. So already I saved this particular thing into one folder. So here we'll see the program now. Now here I'm including two packages. One is AWT and one is event. Now when you talk about this label component, then text area and this frame we do have in AWT. And when you talk about key event, key listener, then key press, key release, those methods are available under event. So it's mandated the two packages we need to import. Now you can see public class, the class name what we are framing is key listener example. So the class name could be anything, but whatever you are giving the class name should be the file name. And it extends a frame class and it is implementing KeyListener. Now this is important for us. Now we are creating one label. You can see here label L. Then we are creating one text area component. Text area is a class and area is a reference variable. Here label is a class and L is a reference variable. Now we are taking one constructor, KeyListener example. Now in that I'm taking the label reference what we have created here, and I'm converting it as an object. Now here we are creating an empty label. You can see here I'm not passing any parameter into the label constructor, but I'm creating an object of that. Then I'm setting the layout of this particular frame to null. Now where I need to add this label onto the frame window. So here, since I made the set layout as null, so the predefined layouts like flow layout, border layout, grid layout, the card layout will not be applicable for your application. You have made it very clearly that the layout should be null. Now what you need to do? You need to go for customizing. That means you need to give your X and Y coordinates where you want to place the component and what could be the width and height of the particular component what you're adding. So how to do that? So we have one method called setBounds. We have one method called setBounds, which is nothing but set boundaries. Now in this setBounds method, you need to pass 4 parameters. First parameter says that you are going to pass X coordinate. The second parameter Y coordinate. The third parameter width of the component, like label is there. What is the width of the particular component and what is the height of the particular component? Okay, so 4 parameters are mandate when you go for set boundary, and that too when you go for set layout of null, then only you need to apply this one. Now this is for the label. You are trying to make X and Y coordinate as 20 by 50 and width is 100 for the label and height is 20 for the label. Now after that, I am creating a text area. Since already I have framed the reference variable here, I'm using that area reference variable and I'm converting into object by applying new text area. Now for this also I'm trying to give the location where I need to place the text area. So here again setBounds method is used by going for area object. Now here X is 20 and Y is 80. Width of the particular text area is 300 and height is 300. So one label we have created, one text area we have created, and we are trying to specify the X and Y coordinates as well as width and height for both the components. Now when you type the data, in text area, then the event need to be generated like key press, key release, and key type. So you need to register the key listener by going for add key listener method by using the area object, that is a text area object. For that only we need to register the listener, right? So text area object dot, that is area dot, add key listener of this. That means for this particular area object, the listener has been registered. That is the meaning. Now later on, you need to add the particular label to the frame window, then add the text area also to the frame window, then set the size of the frame window, the output window you're going to get now, that width and height you need to set, and you need to make the frame to be visible. So here set visible of true you need to write. Now this particular thing is only the constructor what we have written. We have started the brace here, we have closed. You're not closing the program. Since you are writing implements key listener, I said 3 methods to be implemented. So you can see the first method, public void. This line you can see the public void key pressed, and we are handling key event as a parameter. So here I need to, here I am taking L for label, right? Label object dot set text. So wherever you are trying to keep a label component, wherever you're adding the label component to the frame, there, if I press the key on the keyboard, key pressed event is generated and you need to get a message called key pressed. Okay, similarly, when I release the key, this method is called. And same label, you are trying to set the text and you need to get key released. When I release the key on the keyboard, you need to get a label to be changed as key released. When I type the text, the same location, the same label, text has been to be changed to key typed. So only one label we are taking. Whenever you press the key, the label need to be changed to key pressed. Whenever you start typing, you need to get the same label to be get typed as key typed. Then you need to, whenever you are releasing the key, you need to get the key released message. Now finally, now these three methods we have implemented, 1, 2, and 3, because 3 are abstract methods, right? Now after that, I'm going for the main method, and simply I'm calling the constructor. I'm calling the constructor, that's all. So when I call the constructor, it starts from here and it goes on working, and these all methods will be executed when I start typing, or key press or key release has been done. So just save this program, save, and just run the program. You have a run option here, run code, just click that. Now this is the output window, so I put here. Now actually the label is not visible here, because starting we have created empty label, right? So actually the label is placed here. So when I start typing, you can see the label in this position. You get like key press, key release, and key typed. As of now, the label is empty. So just I'm pressing some characters randomly. Like you can see now, the label has been changing. Here the top is a label, key release. I've just stopped typing, right? I've just removed my hand. Now again I'm starting. Again I'm starting typing here. You can see it is again, it has been released. Then I'm going on typing. You can see key typed. Key typed, that means pressed is the pressed followed by key typed, then followed by key release. So here we are not able to imagine whether we are getting a key pressed or not. So I'll show that one also. So I'll just close this, stop this. I'll just put a comment for key typed. Key typed. Where is that? Okay, this one I put a comment just to show the whether key pressed is working or not. Okay, now save this. Now key typed, if you type also, you don't get anything because we have stopped the logic there. Again you rerun, save and rerun, save and rerun. Now again here you can see there is nothing. Now when I start typing, the label you need to get here, you can see key. Now you can see the key pressed. You can see I just hold the button. Typing has been stopped, right? You are getting the characters, but the logic we have stopped there. So key pressed, are able to see key pressed at the top. When I press the key, you can see here key pressed. Okay, so when I just remove this comment also, first you are getting key press, followed by key typed you are getting, then key release. Okay, just to show you, I was stopping the logic. Again I will just rerun, save and run. Now again you can see here, just say start typing. So now you can see key typed and all these things you can see. Okay, now in this way you need to execute the key events, and I hope I have given some input on how to work with the key events and what are the abstract methods available in KeyListener interface and how to write the code. So if you like this video, please subscribe and share it to your friends. Thank you.